Hi, hello, it's nice to see you. I'm glad you could make it, and welcome back to Bookmas. It is officially time to pick our December TBR, and I went through with so many ideas trying to pick like the most Bookmas-y, most December holiday Christmas-esque way to choose my TBR. And then I thought, why don't I spend the next 2 hours painstakingly wrapping 15 books to then unwrap about half of them to be my December TBR, which she said with utter disdain because she is one of the worst wrappers you will ever see in your entire life. It was a skill I was not born with. It was a skill that my mom tried to teach me a lot as a child that I just feel I have not adopted. Even though books are simply just rectangles, the wrapping was subpar and it took me an embarrassingly long time. However, we are going to be unwrapping my December TBR to get into the December holiday spirit. You might be asking yourself, Maddie, you wrapped them. You know all of the books that are in there. Correct. Because I don't know if you've noticed, I have never once successfully completed a TBR, and I kind of want to do that before the year ends. So I decided to pull 15 books that I was pretty confident I did want to read, and then we're going to narrow it down. We're going to do a random number generator, and then we'll pull 7 or 8 of them, and they will be our December TBR. So we will unwrap them together. They all have numbers on them. They're all wrapped. I tried to do my best job to make it aesthetic and beautiful. I think they look cute together. I think it looked cute under a tree. However, I really want to know which ones we're going to get to read this month. But before we get into unwrapping our TBR, we need to talk about a little present that showed up at my front door at the beginning of every single month and can show up at your front door at the beginning of every single month. And that is the beautiful little blue box from today's sponsor, Book of the Month. If you somehow have no idea what Book of the Month is, Book of the Month is a subscription service where their team of curators who are seemingly very talented, who go through and create a list of about 5 to 7 books of mostly new and debut authors for you to choose between. They have a little bit of something from every single genre, and I am such a read within the type of books that I like to read person. So when I'm looking to branch out or try something a little bit different, I know that Book of the Month has me covered because the books that I have found through the subscription service, books that I would have never picked up but were on that list and have become some of my favorite reads. They have the best prices on new release hardbacks as well as free shipping and a royalty rewards program. And I chose 2 books for the month of December because I couldn't pick just one. So the very first book that is going on our TBR, The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter, who also wrote The Blonde Identity, which I have heard so many amazing things about, but the plot line of this one got me. This is a Knives Out holiday rom-com, rivals to lovers, mystery meets romance, which sounds like the absolute perfect fun little holiday read. Not to mention, our female main character is an avid lover of cozy mystery. Our male main character is an avid thriller guy. Sounds like the perfect pairing to me. And the second book we'll be adding to our TBR is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I love Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney, and then I recently read Daisy Darker and was reminded how much I love the way that she writes. I love going into her books blind, and I knew when their team of curators read this book and was like, yeah, this is a good one from Alice Feeney, we need to add it to the list. I needed it in my collection. The overarching premise is that Grady is having the worst day ever, and he calls his wife when she's driving home to tell her everything that has happened in the day. When she slams on the brakes, something happens and now she has disappeared. And now might be the time to join because you can use the code TINSEL to get your very first book for only $5, and everybody who subscribes this month is going to get a fun Book of the Month holiday themed sticker sheet. Whether you're just trying to get new releases for the best deal on the market, which Book of the Month has, you're trying to branch out of your genre and comfort zone and try some new things that you can trust will be pretty good, or even if you're an audiobook listener, because that is an option, I think you will love Book of the Month. And thank you, Book of the Month, for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, let's get into unwrapping the rest of our December TBR because it's already looking pretty good. I have a little Google random number generator pulled up on my phone. I have between 1 and 15, and we're just gonna spin this like 7 or 8 times and see where we end up. We'll see how I'm feeling with like the length of everything. I also did 2 books that were like the same shape or size in every round of wrapping. So like every Christmas tree one had like 2 hardbacks in it or 2 softbacks in it, and there was like no way for me to have any idea which book was underneath. So this is gonna be a surprise for both of us. We're gonna generate our first random number, 15. Wow, that feels wrong. I also am pretty sure it's at the very bottom of this pile. Okay, we have our 15. I don't know how to go about doing this. Something feels so wrong about having just wrapped these yesterday. Our first book is Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. This was the one I was most cautious about because I've actually heard that this is probably not the Sally Rooney book to start with. However, it is so beautiful and I'm so curious what it is about. I also know that Sally Rooney uses no quotation marks, which I'm curious if I will be able to stand or will hate as a reader. I have legitimately no idea what this one is about. This will be my very first Sally Rooney ever, and it is such a beautiful book. However, this one's kind of daunting. Generating our second number, 9. I swear this number generator is just picking the books that are at the very bottom today. Thanks. Yep. The next book that we'll be adding to our TBR is a paperback. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Okay, wait. I'm actually excited to read this. I was holding this in the Indigo store, and one of the girls that worked there came to me and was like, "This is such a fun book. If you like plot, it might not be the best thing ever. However, the vibes are high and the vibes are fun." And I feel like I need to read this like right now before it starts snowing like crazy. I know it's a small town romance situation, interconnected standalone romance situation, but that is quite literally all I know about it. I was also surprised to be able to get my hands on this because I feel like they've been sold out everywhere. If you were looking for synopses for the books that I was going to read going into them, if there's one thing I love, it's going in blind. So you are in the wrong place. However, I feel like the cover on this one sells the vibes. Like I think we know where the vibes are going with this one. 13. I want to get one of the books with the bows on it because I feel like those are the prettiest, but we have 13. It's feeling like a hardback. January's by Olivia Blake. This was regardless going to get read this one. I'm actually like a little bit into it now. I think I'm like 2, maybe 3 short stories into it so far. However, I will never leave an Olivia Blake book unread. This is a collection of short stories, and as Olivia Blake describes it, short stories of love, magic, and betrayal. The 2 that I've already read in here are in such Olivia Blake fashion, like really thought-provoking and emotional and really beautifully done. And I'm excited to see like everything that this book does. And I was planning on doing like some of the short stories in between books and just like keeping it spread out, because if there's one thing that I always want, it is another little taste of Olivia Blake. However, I think I just need to know what's gonna happen. I know I'm not gonna go into 2025 having not finished this. This is another good one to be added to the list. Our next random number is 8. 8's right in front of me. I think this is another hardback. I feel like you can tell if they shake, and it's not shaking at all. Okay. Okay. It feels like Christmas morning. No, this is so fun. I just finished the second book in this series last night, and I was desperately hoping that this was gonna be on here so that I could read it in December, and that is Wisteria by Adeline Grace. This is the last book in the Belladonna series, which I must say, I am heartbroken to be leaving this world. Belladonna was good. Belladonna was really good. And I feel like Foxglove ran, but I feel like when I read this, I'm gonna say that Foxglove jogged so that this could run. The way that Foxglove ends, the way I already know what this is gonna do to me. Belladonna is like a dark, gothic, Regency era fantasy situation where our main character Signa has always had this like kind of weird relationship with the incorporeal existence of death. She's always been tossed around like family to family after her parents died because she's worth a lot, but death tends to follow her. So when she ends up at Thorngrove with the Hawthorne family, she finally gets to kind of experience like what real love is and having real family is, and to help them it looks like she's gonna have to work with the incorporeal being of death. And then going into Foxglove and Wisteria, there's such hard books to talk about because they like follow one after each other. I'm assuming this will, but like it did with Foxglove. Like such an unsung hero. Like honestly probably one of my top books of the year, and I think this will be the best one from the series. Not to mention how gorgeous these naked hardbacks are, every single one, which I would like to start a petition that all naked hardbacks look like that. Just saying. Number 12. Wait, this is gonna be such a good TBR. It has such variety. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McCannis. I am a Good Girl's Guide to Murder and The Naturals girly till the day I die. YA true crime mass genre has become one of my favorites in 2024, and this is one of the books that was recommended to me to like fill that shaped hole in my heart, that YA true crime mass amazing series genre shaped hole in my heart. And in all honesty, I think there's nothing better than a YA true crime book because it doesn't terrify you, but the plots and the stories are always so good. I have no idea what this one is about. I think this is kind of like a kids breakfast club kind of situation where we have a bunch of kids that go in for detention and only 4 of them walk out. Yeah, only Simon never makes it out of the classroom before the end of detention. Simon's dead, and according to investigators, his death isn't an accident, and they need to band together to figure it out. Our next number is 3. How many have we done? Okay, we'll do like 2 or 3 more. We've done 5. We're okay. We could do a few more. It's definitely a paperback. Is it a good one? Was it a good pick? Oh, The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. Okay, this is the Christmas version of the X-Hex, or like the spin-off from the Interconnected Standalone series. Actually, not one singular clue what this is about other than it's 2 people end up at a wedding together. The girl is a witch or something, or she works with witches, something along those lines. And it's also like such a short, sweet, yeah, it's like 230 pages something. I've actually never read the X-Hex, but this is my friend Morgan's book club pick, and when she was talking about it, I was like, wait, I think I actually want to read that. I think this will be a good going into Christmas book, and it's not like too long. There's one thing a Christmas book does not need to be. It is 450 pages. I said what I said. Our 7th book is number 7, which feels like a lot of luck. Okay, this is huge. I actually have no idea what this is. I wrapped these like literally last night. I should know what they are. This does feel like Christmas morning though. I can't even lie. Blood Over Brighthaven by Emma Wong. Okay, I should have known that. This is the only like huge hardback in here. No idea what this is about, but someone in my book club sent me one TikTok that sold me, and I'm so excited to go into this book. All I know is that it's kind of like magical coding, and also Emma Wong wrote The Kaigan Sword, which is so many people's Roman Empire amazing. One of the best fantasy books they've ever read, and I love a good, well done fantasy standalone, and obviously like the publisher believes in it because they published it in a special edition. So I'm so excited to read this. I think it'll be like an epic, big, dark academia kind of fantasy, but I could be wrong. But I know it has something to do with like magical coding, and this is like the machine that they use to magically code. Okay, and the very last book that we will be unwrapping for December's TBR is number 4. I'm glad that I did this when I was like half asleep, because now I actually have no idea what is under all of these, and it's actually a surprise for me as well, even though I literally wrapped them. Okay, it's a paperback. Remember when I said I wasn't good at wrapping? This is what I mean. No, because I was gonna read this regardless if it ended up on the TBR. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Don't ask me how I got an advance copy. Actually, let me tell you. I will tell you because I spoke on a panel at Indigo with my friend Morgan. She asked what books we were like most excited for coming out in 2025, and I said like without a doubt, Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Like Just for the Summer was like such a peak memory in April of 2024. The way that Abby Jimenez writes, like I feel like she writes exactly for me. I take so much out of her books. She does books with emotional depth like absolutely nobody else. And at the end of the talk, one of the girls who works at Indigo came up to me, Jess, if you're watching this, I literally love you with everything in me. And she was like, hey, so I messaged our head of romance and I made sure that we had one more copy left and I'm sending it to you because you need to read it. It was so good. And the way that every single person I talked to that has read this said that it made them sob, and I ugly sobbed during Just for the Summer. This is gonna be a prized possession for me. So having this show up my door was one of the best things ever. However, this will be the last book on our December TBR. And just like that, we officially have our December TBR unwrapped, ready to go. A huge thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video, and make sure to use the code TINSEL to get your very first book for just $5. And I'll see you tomorrow because this is Bookmas, so I'll see you literally tomorrow. And hopefully in that time, we'll actually start to check off some of our December books. This is gonna be a hefty TBR to complete. However, December feels like a good time to like cuddle beside the fire and read all of the books. Let me know if you guys have read any of these and what you thought about them, or if there's ones I should move up my TBR and read like ASAP in the beginning of the month, any of that. I wanna hear all your opinions. Or let me know what book is #1 on your December TBR, or like your end of 2024 TBR, because it's almost 2025. Yeah, no, I'm not happy about it either. And I hope to see you in the next one tomorrow. Love you. Bye. I definitely got a little bit like unwrap happy because this is so many books to set aside in my TBR for the month. So many.